I think the big thing was I had never been to China before.
I've just always wanted to go to China. It's been a dream of mine since I was young, but I've always wanted to come to China and just experience it purely.
I've been to China many times, like a handful. 2019 was my last time before this trip. I've been to China like when I was in high school doing a lot of exchange programs, and then I also came back a couple years ago to do a finding our roots, going back to my grandparents' village, going to my parents' villages, and that was really cool because I saw all the houses that they grew up in.
A lot of people have been helping us out throughout the few days here.
Right when we landed, people were friendly from the airport to even the travel here and the hotel. So everybody was friendly, kind. It was a good environment.
I'm really enjoying myself. The natives are very kind and very nice, and I believe I've had a trip of a lifetime here, being able to meet new people.
I think the Chinese people are some of the kindest that I've met. I don't speak any Chinese, and sometimes they don't speak English, but we're still able to communicate, and they try to help me and talk with me. So I really appreciated the kindness from the people.
I feel like I realize people in China are not that different than us in the United States. We all like to have fun, joke around. I don't know. I've noticed as I get to know more people in China that we're all more similar than I thought.
Well, because my my parents are the first ones to come from China, so we're very culturally Chinese. So we know a lot of our culture. But when I come to China to visit, it's actually very interesting to see that it's actually very modern in China, and our parents are actually very old school, more old school than people in China.
So I wanted to come to China, experience the culture here. Also learn from the other medical doctors and students that were coming to this event, and compare ideas and learn from the experience of healthcare in China.
I think there's a lot to learn in China about medical techniques.
A lot of people have misconceptions because of the language barrier, but because of translating apps and being able to use technology, I think that you're able to learn what the people are like, which is where there's a lot of miscommunication.
Once you've experienced a country firsthand and you have your own stories and experiences there, then everything you do in the future will sort of be affected by your stay here.
I think it's awesome that that's a big part of this conference. There's a lot of conversation about sustainability, and cool to see how the US and China can work together in that capacity.
Like I said, the people here are so nice, and I think if we develop more of a friendship and work together, I believe we can develop a stronger bond with one another between America and China.
I think that if the two countries work together, they can solve a lot of global issues that transcend just China and the US. They're both two very big superpowers on the world stage, and by working together, they can collaborate on issues that are affecting the entire world, like global warming, food insecurity. I think China and the US can work together to solve those.
Innocence grows in the golden fields of summertime, singing along under the night lit up by the star. Down the country road and the bright moon above the hill, ever searching somewhere we call it home. Don't you let go of the days we used to have. Keep them in your heart till our paths cross one more time. Cross the distance we will find our way someday. Wherever we are, never far away from home. Chasing my dreams, searching back along the melodies. Through years and miles, Kuliang, where the hearts find home. Thank you guys. Enjoy the night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CGTN special event, Echoes of Kuliang. I'm Li Choyuan from CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Hey everyone, my name is Jason Smith. You can call me Shangguan Jiewan. We are thrilled to have you here at this special event celebrating the timeless bond between China and the United States, forged in the hills of Kuliang.
That's right. Now, the song you've just heard in the very beginning is actually the theme song of our radio drama, Echoes of Kuliang. And it kind of takes us back to more than 100 years ago when the story of Kuliang all started, right? So, Jason, why don't we share with our audience what that story is all about?
Echoes of Kuliang revolves around the interaction between two families, one American and one Chinese, spanning generations. It started with a young American boy named Milton Gardner, who spent the first 10 years of his life here in Kuliang, where he formed deep bonds with his Chinese friends, Dashan and Haiyan. After leaving China for the United States in 1911, he had always hoped to return.
It's an incredible story, and what I love about it the most is that Milton's personal adventures actually intertwined with all these major historical events during the 20th century, right? You've got the two world wars, and you've got the founding of People's Republic of China, and then President Nixon's visit to China, and the establishment of diplomatic relations between the United States and China. So in short, it is a tale of friendship, peace, and love. So to get things going, why don't we give you guys a sneak peek into the radio drama, Echoes of Kuliang.
Now, we have several clips for you to listen to, and we're going to ask for you to play games with us. So be brave and raise your hand. And if you get the right answer, we're going to give you a special present.
That's right. And the first clip we're about to hear involves Dr. Edward, a British doctor, and our main characters, Milton and his friends, Dashan and Haiyan. And these smart kids picked up some clues about Dr. Edward's secret. Take a listen.
Growing up is all about taking care of those who matter most to us. You all have shown great courage today.
So, Uncle Edward, do you have someone who means a lot to you here?
In my line of work, everyone's health is my concern. But yes, there is someone who holds a special place in my heart.
It's Miss May, isn't it?
You're quite the detective. Let's keep this between us for now. Well, you're all patched up now. Remember to take care and avoid any more trouble, okay?
Thanks, Dr. Edward.
Oh, by the way, do you know Shakespeare?
Of course. One of the greatest writers of my country. What about him? Do you know about him?
Just a secret. He's Miss May's favorite writer. See you, Doctor.
So I think someone's had a huge crush on Miss May. So what is it? What do you guys think Dr. Edward would do next?
It has nothing to do with tennis, but my guess was maybe he gifted her a copy of some Shakespeare manuscript or play.
You know, that's a very good, I would think she deserves a gift. And also, we're going to just give away the answer at this point. He makes her something that she would use. And this is a big hint. Larger.
He made her the tennis court?
Ding, 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 ding.
Bingo!
Well done.
You got it right! Congratulations! Yeah, can someone get her a gift, please? Well done. Thank you very much. Hope you like it. So if you guys would like to know what happens next, will they live happily ever after, do tune in to our radio drama, Echoes of Kuliang.
So we have our next question. This one's going to be a bit easier because it's multiple choice. So on the screen is Milton Gardner's favorite Fuzhou food. What do you think it is?
Let's have a show of hands. Who thinks is dumplings?
Raise your hand if you think it's dumplings.
No? No one? Oh.
I guess maybe it's the fishball soup.
Well done. Very excellent.
Correct.
That is correct. Please,
Wow.
someone, yes. Your gift is right there. And the answer is fishball soup.
Yeah, so fishball soup holds a very special place in Milton's heart. And you guys got to try it. It's really good. I had it this morning. It's really
I
good.
tried it
and
also
I
while I was
heard
here.
it's a
It's delicious.
signature dish from this region. So even after living for decades in the United States, he still longed for this taste. That explains the excitement and happiness that Milton had when he finally got the chance to taste it again.
This is... fishball. This taste.
Is everything all right, sir? Do you like it? 好吃吗?
This taste. It's just like what I had in China.
So as we all know, smells and taste sounds can bring us back to an earlier point in our life. I remember being at my grandmother's house when I was 5 or 6, the first time I smelled a rose. And it was the first time I really noticed that I could smell, actually. I was like consciously aware of it. Now every time I smell roses, it reminds me of being back at my grandmother's house.
So next up, we want to play a little trivia game here. We've got a couple questions based on our radio drama, Echoes of Kuliang. And the first question is actually super easy. As long as you have listened to our clip, we just played carefully, you'll know the answer. So let us know if you know the answer.
So the question is, what is the gift that Milton's parents gave to Dashan's parents? Let's take a listen.
I remember, Milton. You told me the story many times. George and Mary wanted to give them to Dashan's parents in gratitude for saving their lives.
Yes, if it weren't for Dashan and his family, I might not be here. You know, Betty, in Chinese, the word vase, ping, sounds the same as peace. Bing, bing an, bing an.
You got the correct answer.
Well done.
Well done. Congratulations.
Great job. And question number 2, and this is an easy one for some of you at least. Is the 1,000-year-old cedar tree in Kuliang real or fictional? Yes. Yes, it is real.
It is.
A lot of us took a trip there the other day, so for a lot of us, this is a really easy question.
Congratulations. Great job. And then question number 3. Ooh, this one is kind of tough. What is the year when Betty Gardner came to China? 1986, did you say? 1886?
Later than that.
Later, yeah.
Yes.
1993?
Oh, so
So
close.
close, so
Earlier,
close.
though.
Who said 1992?
Over there, in the hands of the back.
All of them. All of the ladies
All
over
the
there.
people who
All of
claim
them
that they
who
got the
claim
correct answer of
1992.
1992, keep your hands up and we'll make a gift come.
Perfect. Yeah, so the year was 1992. So, without further ado, why don't we give you guys a behind-the-scene look of our radio drama. And here's a video about our actresses and actors, our voice actors, actresses. Let's hear what they had to say about this. Take a listen.
Hi, I'm Lu Chang, director of Echoes of Kuliang. This radio drama is about love, peace, and friendship. It's about universal growing up experiences that everyone can relate to. So creating this story has been an incredibly touching and beautiful journey for us. We want to share this kind of emotional experiences with you.
Hello， 大家好，我是李成林，是我们《梦回古岭》这部英文广播剧的导演。
你发现了他跑进去已经跑得溪水很深的地方了，所以你第一反应是很慌张。Oh no! Come back, 米纯 It's too slippery. Come back.
Haiyan is a kind, gentle elder sister who cares for her younger brother Dashan and Milton.
My name is Haiyan. You are a teacher?
I think one of the biggest challenges for me is to express the character's emotion through your voice.
Mitun! Mitun! Hey, what's going on here? Why the tears? Does that include me too? Yay! 破音了。
Hello， 大家好，我是配音演员 Kyo。我呢在本剧中饰演 Milton 小的时候。
This is for Mr. Zhang. I know him, the grocery store owner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Spencer, but you might recognize me as the voice of Milton from the Echoes of Kuliang. I really hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did recording it.
Edward, he is quite funny, or at least he thinks he is, but then he meets May. 我觉得有一个问题是，这苦亮我应该怎么说 ？A cooling place, cooling, Kuliang.
Look at the blackboard. Dashan, maybe you can read the Chinese version for us.
No more chances for folks like me.
I met someone who can get me to Canada. And his American friend.
You won't believe this. They found him.
Yes, I'm just as excited, Betty.
Let me go. Get out.
Extra! Extra!
Milton, we found it. Your Kuliang. We found it. We finally found it.
Unbelievable. Yes, it's Mitun. It's him.
We invite you to travel back in time and immerse yourself in this beautiful story of friendship and love. Please go check out our radio drama, Echoes of Kuliang.
Dashan, Haiyan, I'm back! I'm back in Kuliang!
Home.
I love you, Betty.
Love.
Remember?
Thank you.
Bing An.
Fate.
Take care!
Mitun.
What do they truly mean?
Dashan, where did you go? Dashan! Dashan!
Embark on a century-long journey with CGTN Radio's latest offering, Echoes of Kuliang, a gripping audio drama series inspired by real-life tales.
Has anyone heard of a Guodashan?
From unexpected encounters to heartfelt reunions, immerse yourself in a narrative of love, peace, and enduring friendship.
He's a piece of my lost childhood.
In the age of all media, we know you're not going to be satisfied with just the audio from the podcast, so we made an animated video so that you can bring the story of Echoes of Kuliang to life visually. Please enjoy.
Little monkey climbing up the tree.
Hey, what do you have there? Is that a monkey?
Yeah, it's my new toy monkey. I'm waiting for Dashan and Haiyan, and we will teach him how to climb.
Cool. Can I see it? It looks cool.
Let me see. But he's learning to climb. He's my friend.
Climbing? Here, let me show you how it's done.
There! Your monkey's really climbing now. See? Up in the tree. No. How's he supposed to get down?
You were teaching him to climb, weren't you? It's up to you to get him back.
But it's too high. I can't.
Cry, baby.
He doesn't know how to climb. Oh.
Mitun? Hey, what's going on here? Why the tears?
Mitun, who's been bullying you? They put my monkey way up there. I can't reach him.
Oh, don't be such a crybaby. We're just having fun.
He can't climb trees. Even monkeys can do that.
Useless. Scaredy cat? Every kid here knows how to climb.
Hey, don't say that. That's not fair.
I'm not scared. I can't.
No worries, Mituan. I'll help you. Climbing's easy once you know how.
Yes, don't be afraid. This grandpa tree is more than 1,000 years old. He protects all the kids here.
Come, Mituan. Step on my shoulders, and you'll be taller, see?
Really? Do you think I can?
Absolutely. I've got you. Just step up here, and I'll lift you to that branch.
Let me help you. Slowly.
That's it. Use your legs. Perfect. Now reach out.
I can almost touch it. Yes, I've got it.
See? Nothing to fear. I'm right here, keeping you steady. Watch out! Gotcha.
Mituan, are you okay? Dashan, how about you?
I'm fine. Oh, Dashan, you're bleeding. Oh no, it was the branch I was holding on to. It hit you.
I'm all good. Nothing serious.
Let's apply these herbs first. They can stop the bleeding.
Look, I've stopped bleeding. The grandpa tree protects all kids. And look, your monkey's safe and sound.
Thank you. You're my hero, Dasha.
We look out for each other. That's what brothers, sisters, and friends do.
Guys, Mituan is our friend. And no more teasing, okay? Everyone's brave in their own way.
Sorry, Sister
Sorry,
Sister
Haya.
We won't do it again.
We won't do it again.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Dashan, Haiyan, is it true there's an Asian spirit living in this cedar tree?
Yep. My dad told me his grandpa told him so. The tree is the protector of our village.
Grandpa Tree keeps us all safe, and he will hear your wishes.
So, we will all grow up together, and he will protect us, right?
Of course, and we'll protect you too.
That's amazing. Dear Grandpa Tree, I wish that we could stay friends forever. Me, Dashan, and Haiyan.
We will. Let's make a promise. Friends forever.
Friends forever.
So the production of Echoes of Kuliang spanned over 6 months, bringing together some of the best voices from 3 generations that CGTN radio, together with experienced Chinese and foreign actors, and with the help of cutting-edge technology like audio vivid technology and AI virtual sound, enriched sound effects, cinematic music, as well as authentic historical video. It is promising you a high-quality and immersive listening experience.
The drama highlights the deep and pure friendship between Milton and his childhood friends, vividly portraying the harmonious international community of Kuliang over a century ago.
So now, without further ado, we're proud to present to you a tale of love, friendship, and peace.
Dear Grandpa Tree, I wish that we could stay friends forever. Me, Dashan, and Haiyan.
We will. Let's make a promise. Friends forever.
Friends forever.
And ladies and gentlemen, CGTN's radio drama series Echoes of Kuliang is now officially released. Congratulations!
The Bond with Kuliang 2024 China-U.S. Youth Festival has attracted the largest group of American youth to visit China this year and is a great opportunity for young people from both countries to get to know one another and to build friendship on that understanding.
That's right, and President Xi Jinping, in his congratulatory letter, expressed his hope that we could see more in-depth exchanges between youth from China and the United States. So in that spirit, we would like to hold a friendly people-to-people dialogue and have a discussion among Kuliang's friends, old and new. So now, please welcome our distinguished guests.
We have Huang Ye is the band director and music instructor at the Jazz Academy of Jazz at the Lincoln Center, Shanghai. Will you please come up, sir?
Welcome, welcome. And please also welcome Isaac Philip Gray, a student from the Yenching Academy of Peking University, to represent a younger generation of Americans who has built a bond with China and Chinese people. Welcome, thank you. Please have a seat.
And finally, Ellen McInnes has agreed to join us, and she is the lead researcher at the Kuliang Tourism and Culture and co-founder of Kuliang's Friends. Right here. In the center.
Everybody, please be seated. Thank you very much. So we have quite a lineup today. Let's begin the conversation with a word that we can all relate to. Why don't I start with Ms. McInnes first? So you have a very special bond with China, right? You have worked and lived in China for years. So what does the word Kuliang mean to you?
Kuliang is where is home, where my husband spent his first months of babyhood. He wasn't very old. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Just born.
And how long has he lived there in Kuliang?
He didn't live that long in Kuliang, but his family did buy a house, and they named it the Isle of Skye, or Skye, after the island that his family came from in Scotland. So they just brought Scotland to Kuliang.
Interesting. And what about you, Isaac? When did you first learn, the story of Kuliang? And what was it like for you after learning the story?
I actually didn't know about Kuliang until about 3 weeks ago when I was invited to come here. But since then, I think after learning the story, I've recognized that it kind of represents an opportunity to kind of transform some of Chinese cultural heritage into an opportunity for further China-U.S. dialogue. And I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Kuliang holds such a special place in a lot of people's hearts. But before 1992, for a lot of people, even for people living here in China, this is not a well-known place, not as well-known as other mega cities, right? But then everything changed in 1992. What about you, Huang Ye? What does Kuliang mean to you?
It's my first time in Fuzhou. So I did some research of this place and this retreat. It's actually like in 19th century, foreign missionaries came here first to discover a summer retreat for them to have fun and to enjoy the Western culture and the Chinese traditional culture. So I heard that there is a lot of Western villas and also Chinese traditional buildings. So I'm hoping to see maybe in the next few days.
So you started coming back, Ms. McInnes, years ago, yes?
Well, actually, we came back in 2015 I came here in 2015 for the first time.
And what is your impression? What was it about family? Was it about going to another country? How did you relate to your first trip to China?
China was 1988.
Oh, okay. So you started, were you looking for Kuliang in 1988, or were you just coming to China for fun?
No, we just came to China in 1988. We came looking for my husband's roots, which were in Fuzhou. He was born in Fuzhou, and we went to visit the hospital. We went to visit where his parents taught, and then we went searching for Kuliang, for his house, the old family house on Kuliang.
Wow, so when you found Kuliang, what was that like?
It was amazing. But when we came, we really wanted to see the house, and we couldn't find it.
So how did you exactly find it?
Well, after years of research, 7 years of research, we finally had a Kuliang friend who kind of knew the way the mountains went, from which angle. He'd lived there his whole life. And he looked at one of our old pictures, and his dad looked at one of our old pictures and said, "Oh, I think it's over there, over there." And so they went and they found the valley, and they found the view out to the ocean, and they found they found the foundation of our house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has it been rebuilt?
It hasn't been rebuilt. I thought it's better just to put a little bit there, a marker, and say sky.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. That's fantastic. So, Isaac, when was your first trip to China?
My first trip to China was in either March or April of 2012, when my middle school did an exchange with Beijing June 1st Middle School. Yes, and so I was only there for a week, but we stayed in the dorms of Beijing June 1st Middle School.
And so, was this your first trip outside of the States?
I mean, if you count Canada, like, as being outside of the States, then no.
So how old were you? 11, 12 years old?
I was in 8th grade. 13?
Yeah. So what was that experience like for you?
At the time, it was kind of a shock. I was a very picky kid, and I remember being really thankful that there was white rice with everything. Now I am not a picky person. However, at the time I was. And I remember the size of everything, the scale of everything. I remember them taking us to the bird's nest, being astounded by the bird's nest. I remember the water cube. That was amazing. And seeing how it had been reused. I remember just the size of, I mean, I'm from a city of 1.3 million people, which is barely anything in Chinese standards. I mean, Haidian alone, I think, has like 4 million people in it. So it was really shocking to the size of it, the scale of it.
So kind of the same question for you, Hongye. When was the first time you went to the United States, and what was your impression?
Kind of similar. I went to the United States when I was around 5th grade. It was a like summer trip, like only for 2 weeks.
How did you see it from a Chinese perspective? Is different, like?
Well, it's similar because I moved to New York, and New York is similar to where I was born. So Shenzhen was the city I was born. So high buildings, skyscrapers, and a lot of people, crowded, stinky. So when I went to New York, it's like similar, but in a different way. I love the embracement of cultures in New York. Yeah, so you can see all kinds of people, all different jobs and different species, races.
There are a lot of similarities, actually, when you take a closer look at the two countries and their peoples. And speaking of that, Isaac, what are the things that you like the most about the Chinese people? Are there any qualities that you find interesting, or compared to people from where you're from?
One of the things that I find really interesting, so I used to work in San Francisco Chinatown, which is one of the oldest Chinatowns in America and one of the largest concentrations of Chinese people outside of China in the world. And at the time, one of the things that is really apparent there and here is how much of a social life elderly people have, especially contrasted with kind of like white Americans. A lot of times we send our grandparents off to homes. And I was really impressed everywhere I go in China, how much vitality and how much fun the old people here seem to be having. And this is not just limited to old people too. I really think that, I think many Chinese cities like to claim we here especially like our slow pace of living. And I think the fact that so many Chinese cities all independently say we like our slow pace of living the most speaks to the fact that I think that Chinese people have a really good sense of enjoying their leisure time, really a nice long afternoon, drinking tea, stuff like that. I think that's something very special about China.
Very interesting. And what about you, Ms. McInnes? In your eye, what are Chinese people like?
I think Chinese people are very much aware of all the people around them. And I love that. Even when you write an envelope, you start with China, and then the American equivalent would be the state, the city, the street address, and a name. That's the Chinese way. So it's not about you. It's about your whole larger group, all the way up to including the nation. And I think that's, I like that way of thinking.
Communal spirit. Also, family is really central to Chinese people. The respect for elders, respect for their ancestors. It's a core value for the Chinese people.
Yes, and I think that's very wise. If it's just all about you, and what you want to do, then you've missed all the rest.
And another thing I find interesting, speaking of the differences between Chinese people and Americans, is the way they communicate with each other, the communication style, I find very interesting. Chinese people tend to value indirect communications. They value harmony and tend to avoid conflict, whereas I find Americans, they value clarity and openness a little bit more, so they would prefer direct communication. Anything that you find interesting while you were working there in New York, like this?
Yeah, I think New York people are very strict and also direct, like we just said. And they will point out anything that they find interesting or not out of line. So they will speak to you plainly and ask you for your advice sometimes, yeah. So I think it's a different way of thinking. But when I came back to China, I adapt to this environment very quickly because I think that's the natural way of people. So we talk more, we get to know each other more than just directly pointing out things. Yeah.
Huang Ye, since you lived in the United States, you live there actually, you're U.S.
Half and half of my life.
So I guess my question is, how do you envision Americans and Chinese people getting to know one another better on, a massive cultural level? What kinds of initiatives would you want to see to help us facilitate more communication?
I think that's a very bold question because I was thinking on the road here because I live in Shanghai most of the time, and Shanghai people is very international. They embrace all, like New York, they embrace a lot of different nationalities and people. But in the rest of the China, like the countryside or like other cities, I was like looking at the video. They said people take picture of you if you're a foreigner. I think just more, I would say more exchange, cultural exchange like this will help the U.S. and China to get to know each other better. And also same thing here, sending people to China to get to know, to U.S. to get to know their culture is a very good way to do it. Yeah.
I have the same question for you, Isaac. In terms of people-to-people exchanges, what kinds of people-to-people exchanges would facilitate the best communication between our two nations?
Well, I mean, I agree, of course, with Huang Ye that this kind of thing is very important too. I also think that more kind of higher level, high education, academic exchange is important as well, because I think right now the situation is a bit unequal in the sense that there are so many Chinese students that study in America and then come back, but very few Americans take advantage of like the educational opportunities that there are in China. I mean, Peking University they recently just got ranked like 14th best university in the world, and I think that opportunities like that would really American students would really stand to benefit from those opportunities as well.
Well, Ms. McInnes, I kind of have the same question, but you've already sort of achieved it because by this example that your family has set, you've already sort of set the tone for creating and facilitating people-to-people exchanges, but you have other ways in which you think that our two nations can get to know each other better.
I do. Because every child in the U.S. studies China when they're young, and I think it would be good to have some very informative and fun videos on things that primary school children like, so that they're automatically aware, oh, we don't have that. Kids over there do that. That's really cool, like raising silkworms or playing with crickets. I mean, there's an almost 2,000-year-old cricket culture in China. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've been here for 12 years, so yeah.
Okay. Did you know that? 2,000 years old. There's poetry, there's music, there's all kinds of things. It's fascinating. So we need to get our youngest interested as well.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. What about the things that you guys think that, people here in China and Americans, they can work together? For example, Huang Ye, you're a musician yourself. Have you ever collaborated with, American musicians?
Yeah, most of the musicians I collaborated are American because jazz music is from America. So I practically grew up there and also understand the jazz scene and also classical scene, like some of the pop scene. So a lot of people there are like they love music and they play music, but for fun. But here we study music because we consider it like a job, a career. Like musician is a career. But there in the US, it's a fun way to do. You like music, you listen to music, you pick up an instrument, you play when you're sad, you play when you're fun. So it's a fun way of learning music. But here is more like a job. Yeah.
Interesting. What about you, Isaac? Anything that you feel like, young people, younger generation from China and the United States could work together?
I think that infrastructure and environmental protection are probably the two biggest and most relevant ones. I have always been consistently impressed by the infrastructure in China, Gaotie, the convenience of everything. And I also think that China has the necessary capacity to develop more green energy, all this kind of thing. I think this is very important. And I think that we cannot treat, global warming as a goal to be attained in like a competitive spirit. I think that would be very bad for both Chinese people and the US people and everyone else in the world. But I think that that is something that we can definitely work together on because, America does have some of the best climate scientists in the world. And I think China has some of the best infrastructure development in the world.
Well, definitely, sustainable practices and, fighting climate change with the United States and China being global leader in clean energy, there's a lot definitely we could work on together. What about you? Your thoughts on this, Ms. McInnes?
I was just sitting here enjoying the answers. I've been thinking primarily about people-to-people friendship and the importance of that. So I do think that understanding each other and having these relationships is one of the most important things you can do. There are other things too, lots of them. Let's do them all.
Actually, that's a really wonderful idea. This is centered on youth, and most of the people here are really young. A lot of the speakers have been my age or older. So I'm really wondering what people hope that the youth are taking away and what they're going to be able to accomplish. So when you see all of these young people from China, from the United States here, hundreds of them, what's your hope that they're going to take away from the story of Kuliang?
Well, you can always point someone in a direction. And if you just watch movies of war and crash bang and cars burning up, and that's a direction. And I hope from this, people will consider maybe not even just the stories of the people on Kuliang, an intercultural mix, but they'll even think about their own families and the wonderful examples of people, maybe not your own family, maybe it's your neighbor, but the people who inspire you, that you'll be inspired to do something good for the world, and that will be what you're looking down the path at. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be a little thing. In fact, it could just be a smile. But, that's what I hope. That people, not just young people, can hear the story and think, wow, there's something I could do. Mm-hmm. Then the world gets better.
Huangye, your story is kind of like Kuliang in a way, only in reverse. A Chinese person migrating to the United States, and now you're settled down there. So when you hear the story, you're relating the story historically a moment ago, so clearly you know the story well. Do you see yourself in that story, kind of also settling down somewhere else and being a bridge like that?
Yes, because I'm a foreign exchange student actually. So a lot of people like me go to US and study abroad and try to absorb their knowledge and came back. Like I'm one of them who came back. Like I want to bring the best of the jazz music in general to here and to share my knowledge with my colleagues, my friends, and musicians. So I think that's a good way of doing like the story here. Just bring back different culture and absorb with the own culture, which I was born with. So I like the mixture of both, the fusion of both.
And Isaac, you mentioned the first time you came to China was when you were a young teen. You're in middle school, but you're here again now. How many times have you come here?
This is my second time.
So are you inspired by this story of Americans coming here more than a century ago and settling down in China? Does this make you want to come back to China, or does that make you want to visit other countries? Does it make you want to share in other cultures?
It makes me want to go to more places in China, to be quite honest.
Where would you go? I'm just curious.
I really want to go to Jiuzhaigou, a place.
Jiuzhaigou. Oh, and the most beautiful. Have you ever been?
Where?
You should. Jiuzhaigou in Sichuan province.
Not.
Oh, one of the most beautiful places in the world. You gotta go. Yeah. Okay. So, finally, I would like to have all of you share some of the aspects that you like about each other's country and its people. What are the things that you like the most about China and the Chinese people?
I like the vegetables. I feel very sad in America because we have such limited vegetables. I'm so happy I've been back and have been eating all this food, and I've probably gained 10 pounds, and what are you gonna do? But I love the Chinese people. I love being part of a group. I love not having to stand there on my own like a good individual. I love having friends at my back. And I spent 30 very happy years here.
30 years?
30 years, yeah.
It's like your second home.
Oh, yeah. I spent most of my adult working life here, 36, 65.
And that's incredible. Your family was also here, I would imagine.
Yes, my daughters grew up here. Their names are Aizhong and Aihua.
They're celebrities. They are celebrities, ladies and gentlemen. I think most of the people from my generation would know them. They have appeared on Spring Festival Gala, right? With CCTV, yeah.
Yes, they were on different programs. And Charlotte stayed behind. Aihua was here as a host, sometimes at CCTV, Beijing TV. Yeah.
Wow, quite an amazing journey.
And I taught English.
What a great run.
希望英语 program.
Yeah. I think a lot of people learning English would know this face. What a fun ride here.
Yeah, so we talked about cultural differences, which I think is one of the most important things.
Yeah.
As if you understand that, then you're very comfortable.
Yeah.
For example, if someone's embarrassed in China, they might laugh. If a child falls down, hurts their knee, the grannies will laugh to get him to stand up. But he may think, if he's a foreigner, the grannies are laughing at him. So you have these little teeny things that can have misunderstood cues, and you have to learn about them. So it's very important.
Yeah, and I must say, I agree with you. I love Chinese food, the culinary traditions here, one of the best things about China. What about you, Isaac? Things that you like the most about this country and its people?
One of the things that has really impressed me about China and that I've grown to love about it is the incredible diversity here. I think in America, oftentimes, our view of China has been extremely limited in media. And what we see in China is often, or what people think about China, people's perceptions of China is deeply influenced by, xenophobic news media. And I think that when you come here, you can see for yourself that China is not a monolith. It's not, a place where everyone has the same opinion, or where everyone talks and eats the same way, or where everyone follows the same routine. It's a very diverse country, and every city I've been to has had a different vibe, a different kind of feeling to it. And I really appreciate about that China. And I think this is also one of the key similarities between China and the US, because both of our countries are, on the surface, people think they're rather hegemonic, but I think actually they're very diverse when you look at it, kind of at a more granular level.
What about you, Huang Ye? Things that you like the most about America?
America.
Americans,
Oh, I thought I'm speaking about Chinese.
Well, if you want to answer for China, that's fine. What's your favorite thing about China then?
I was going to say like the Chinese food, of course. Yeah. America, the same thing, diversity. I think that it's a global world, so we travel to each other's countries and share our knowledge and to embrace their new technology and also like culture. So I think that's a great thing about staying in some places in America. They embrace a lot of technologies and the best of the best came to US to study. And sometimes they come back and share the knowledge with the world and with their the country, the home country. So by doing that, the world gets better. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I love about the most about America is there's a cultural acceptance of failure as a step toward success, and that really encourages, resilient or experiment, and that kind of foster a very supportive entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I really like the startup culture over there.
All right, everyone, you found these cards, decks of postcards on your chair. We're going to play a bit of a game.
Yeah, so we would like to invite you to write down some things to mark this day. You know what? Milton's wife was able to locate Kuliang thanks to the stamps on her husband's letters. So today, in the same vein, we hope to give you something to remember by. So after we're done here, we'll bring these postcards to the post office here in Kuliang and have them mailed to the intended addresses.
Yeah, I don't send enough letters and postcards, so when I heard that we were going to play this game, I wrote one to my mom. So take out the pen that was on your chair, take out the card that was on your chair, and start writing your postcards, and we're going to have you guys come up here for a photo, and then we're going to mail these off. And we would also like to invite one or two of you to share what you've written on your card. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'll give you an example. I'm not the most eloquent writer. Dear Mom, I am hosting a show in Fujian. Hello from Kuliang Village, your loving son, Jason Robard. My name is not Jason Robard, it's a nickname thing. But please write something on your card for someone anywhere in the world and come up here.
Or Ni Hao from China. I'm so sad to be here without you, but I'm very happy to be here all the same. Jeremiah.
I'm really happy to have the chance to come to Fujian. It's a really beautiful city with good food, and hope we can come here together in the future.
Thank you for being my community and family away from, quote, home. So blessed to know you. Love, Amy.